can't expect much else from Walmart.
This happened about a year ago, last summer. I'm 20 now, but I was 18 at the time, and I'm a girl. I used to live in a town that gets very hot during the summer, about 95 or 100 degrees Fahrenheit every day. I went to my local Walmart to do some light shopping and pick up a pair of flip-flops. As I was in the shoe aisle, I noticed an older guy, probably in his late 30s or early 40s, standing there too. My town has a good amount of drug users, and he appeared to be one of them. When he saw me, he started to say really gross sexual things to me. I'm used to being catcalled and experiencing this sort of thing, so I just ignore him and pick out a pair of shoes and continue with my shopping. He follows me down a few more aisles and then stops following me. After I pay for my things, I leave out the exit of the shop towards the parking lot. The Walmart is part of a strip mall with other stores, so I start walking right towards the end of the strip mall to catch the bus back home. After walking about 20 seconds, I notice the man standing next to a car in the parking lot, talking to someone in it. He sees me and breaks away from the car and begins to head in my direction. I continue walking right, and he begins to walk parallel next to me in the road, about 10 feet away, still yelling really gross things to me. At this point, this is more than just creepy comments in the store. He's following me outright. I noticed that I was approaching the entrance of a John's Incredible Pizza, a kid's pizza and play place here in California. So I run to the doors and make my way inside. I told the girl at the counter that there was a guy following me outside and asked if I could stay inside for a few minutes until he was gone. She let me and also sent 2 male workers out to walk all the way around the store to see if they could find him. They didn't. So I decided to stay about 10 minutes before I left to go to the bus stop. When I got to the stop, there were 2 women there who, when I told them what had happened, promised to stay with me and talk to me and keep me company. So, creepy guy who followed me through a parking lot, let's not meet again. This situation was also the day I decided I really needed to buy a can of pepper spray for my purse. Protect yourselves.
My mom was held at gunpoint.
I'm sorry I don't have all the precise details because my mom has since passed away, but this is everything I remember of what she told me happened when she was in her teens. My mom had just started driving on her own and went to the Rite Aid about 2 minutes away from her house in a really safe neighborhood. On her way in, she saw a guy leaning up on the wall next to the door, and she said she thought he was kind of cute, so she smiled at him and went inside. She finished her shopping and came out and got into the car. Suddenly, she felt something up against her side and turned around to look in the back seat, and the man she saw while she was walking in was in her car holding a gun to her side. He told her to drive, but she was worried about what he would do once they got somewhere more secluded. He told her to drive again, and she told him no. She said he was surprised and said, "Did you just tell me no?" And my mom said, "I did." He told her, "You're going to find out what it feels like to get shot then." And my mom said, "You're going to find out what it feels like to go to jail then, because I'm going to start screaming and someone from this parking lot is going to call the cops." At this point, the guy realized my mom was too stubborn and wasn't going to budge, so he got out of the car and ran away. The cops came and interviewed her, and she gave them his description, but they never caught him. If you knew my mom and knew how stubborn she was, you would not be surprised that this is how she reacted. It's crazy that it worked, though.
Worst birthday experience ever.
Last January, I celebrated my birthday. It didn't go well. I was playing some computer games alone in my apartment, and that would mean I'd stay up late at night gaming. I was so bored at that time because my friends were out of town. And then it was midnight. I was like, "Hooray, happy birthday to me." I ate pizza, drank some juice, all that introvert stuff. And then the phone rang. I thought it would be my friends calling to greet me because it's my birthday, but who calls late at night? I hesitated, but still I answered it. I heard a girl and a man speaking. I didn't recognize the voice. I asked them who they were and told them that they may have been calling the wrong person. It sounded like the girl took the phone away from the man and answered me. She told me that they know me and they were looking right at me through the window. The girl sounded drunk because she was giggling. I was like, what the fuck? I don't remember giving strangers my number anyway. I hung up and continued playing some computer games. After a few minutes, the phone rang again, so I answered and told them to stop fucking with me. And after that, I stood up from my desk and went to look at the window. I didn't see anyone. I tried to look carefully. I even used my cell phone to zoom in on some other buildings, but I found no one. I started to believe it was a prank call, and then it rang again. I picked the phone up, but I didn't speak. On the other line, they weren't speaking either. It was like they were waiting for me to go first. So I started to ask them what was their problem. The girl then told me that they were outside my apartment waiting for me to open the door. Now I was scared as fuck because I don't know who they are and what they want. I ran to my door and locked it and went to my kitchen and grabbed a knife because why the fuck not? And then I heard a knock at my door. I jumped from my seat and went straight to my bedroom and locked it, leaving my computer open and the living room lights on. It was the worst birthday ever.
Creepy old man followed me in his car.
When I was 13, about 1998, my family and I lived on a street right off the main road that went through town. Our house was about a half-mile down from the main road. At the corner on the main road was a barber shop, and around the corner on the right was a bunch of shops. One summer day, I decided to walk to a shop on the main road. As I'm walking up my street, a car pulls up with an old man inside. He asks if I need a ride. He looked like a harmless old man just trying to be nice, but I'm not stupid either. I said, "No, thank you." and continue on my way, and he drives away. Only a minute or two later, he pulls up again and asks if I need a ride. He must have drove around the block or something. I assured him that I still didn't need a ride. After I turn the corner of the main road, there's a small parking lot on the right before I reach the rest of the shops. As I'm walking past the parking lot, I heard a car honk in the parking lot. Of course, it gets my attention, and I turn to see the old man in his car, smiling and waving at me. The shop I wanted to go to was only 2 shops away, so I hurry past the parking lot and head in. After about 15 minutes or so, I leave the shop. I peeked into the parking lot before walking past, and I did not see him there. Figuring he left, I went on my merry way. Walking back down my street, he pulls up again. Asks me for a ride again. I forcefully said no, and he pulls away again. This time I decide if he comes around again, I'm not going to my house in case he sees me. I don't want this freak knowing where I live. I would either go to my family's business, which is further down the road, or a friend's house. Whichever I could get to first. One more time the guy pulls up and says, "Are you sure you don't need a ride?" So I basically yell at him, "No, go away." And he speeds off. I sped up and I still had a few minutes left on my walk, but I didn't see him again, so I figured it'd be safe to go to my house. I told my mom and she got worried and was glad I was home safe. Never walked on my own after that until we moved a year later to a safer area. It's been almost 20 years, but the memory still creeps me out, especially being older and less naive about creeps. So, creepy old man in your car, let's not meet again.